Vicky's here, and she's our techie person, as you know. So I'm going to talk to you about the operational agreement. The agreement is 14 pages long. It is located on our website, and you are welcome to go in and read it. Best read in the evening if you're trying to go to sleep, because it will put you to sleep. But it is there for you, as well as all the Q&As that we've sent out, as well as the synopsis is there. We thought it was easier to send out an overview or a synopsis of the agreement for you. So I'm going to go through the agreement, through this synopsis. When we talk about NCGA, NCGA has two corporations. One is NCGA Foundation, doing business as Youth on Course. They only deal with Youth on Course activities. They are a nonprofit foundation organization, 503c. 501c3, okay? Then we have the second corporation. That's the NCGA that has the two golf courses, the employees, the bulk of the employees, the big office building down at Poppy Hills where we like to go play golf. Two completely separate, different corporations, run completely separate, banked in different banks. So I want you to just have that in your mind, because we're going to go through that with some of this money that we're dealing with. When I talk about this, I'm going to talk about as if after the vote, you vote to go to Unify, because I don't want to say if all the way through my conversation. So let's move forward, to July, and we voted to do unification. That's when this agreement would go into, it goes into effect January 1, but we're going to have to start doing some things ahead of time. So that's when it'll be signed, and we'll start processing a lot of things to get ready for tournament season next year and whatnot. So WGANC is a corporation. We're a nonprofit corporation, and it will be dissolved, and it'll be dissolved at the end of January. And as of January 1, we will fly our flag under the NCGA banner. Member clubs who have indicated they will remain with us will be considered former member clubs, and those clubs will go with us to the NCGA subcommittee that we're working with. Kim told you that we contacted all of them in February and March because we wanted to make sure that we had our clubs with us. And I know many of you, I have many emails from you captains. We appreciate all your help. We had to get the general manager or the club pro to agree to this, so that if they came back and said, no, we didn't agree to this, we have it. I have it all on my computer. I have it printed out. I have a stack of emails printed out about this high by my desk. But all of our clubs are basically staying with us, which is important to us, and they're all waiving the green fees, which is important to us because it keeps our cost of our tournaments down. This is a unique feature of our association, and I'm not sure too many have that throughout the United States. So this is very unique to our association, and we are keeping that with us. And thank you, captains, for helping us on that. NCGA will appoint one former member from Pacific Women and from WGANC to be on their board of directors effective January 1. The application period closes June 10th. So if any of you are interested in a position, you can apply for it. You can get the application, it's online at NCGA. They do want people who have some knowledge of WGANC and its workings. And these will be full board positions on NCGA's board. Because if we don't have representation, we don't know what they're doing with this agreement. And so Tom was very instrumental in that last year when we were negotiating this, to say that we absolutely have to have representation on that board and on the various committees. We have had representation on all of the committees for the last 2 years, and we suspect that will remain the same as we go forward. we've got many, many bright women in this association. And so to have you on these boards or have you on these committees or to have you volunteer just keeps us strong and keeps us going. NCGA will offer employment to all of our employees. So Eva, Vicki, and Sue will be offered a position, which is nice. I've said this many times before. It was awfully tough to negotiate and wonder where were our employees going to go. So when NCGA said they would be offered employment, that was a win-win for me. We have a lease on our office in Pleasanton through August of 2020, and we will stay in that office. There's a possibility that we will renegotiate the lease or stay in there a little longer. That's still to be determined, but that's our goal. But NCGA is really good about letting their employees telework. So Vicki already teleworks out of Sacramento and goes into Pleasanton once a week or more if we're having tournaments and she's helping. So we're not worried about the commute into Monterey or having to relocate, because we found some space up at Poppy Ridge where we could move our office in and Eva could work out of there. So there's some logistical things that are going to have to be worked out, but that's an issue that will have to be taken up in August. We will form a women's golf committee, and I'm sorry we don't have it projected up. I think this was in your synopsis that came out. So the golf committee will operate alongside or with the operations committee, NCGA's operations committee. And at the head of the women's golf committee, we will have the PW and the WGANC board member. One from PW, one from WGANC. PW has almost the same agreement that we have. There's some nuances for them that we didn't need, but we basically all have the same agreement. And then the president of NCGA will appoint another board member to sit on this committee. The CEO of the operations division will be on this committee, as well as the two executive directors, Eva and Caroline O'Brien for PW, as well as we'll have two ladies from the subcommittees come up and be on this committee. So we're going to have a committee of WGANC, PWGA women on this committee. Then the committee will be broken down to subcommittees. PW will be a subcommittee, and WGANC will be a subcommittee. And on this subcommittee will be what you would think of now as your board of directors that we have at WGANC, who will be doing the volunteer work to run the tournaments, run the open days, schedule the tournaments, do the site committee work for the tournaments, and do all the things that we currently do will be done under here. The goals of the Women's Golf Committee would be to promote women's golf interests throughout Northern California, to hold our historical tournaments and open days, oversight of the assets. We'll get into the assets. Volunteer retention engagement. We'll go out looking for our own volunteers. We're going to need volunteers to keep this running. The Helen Langfield Junior Girls Tournaments. These are the 4 tournaments that we do in the fall, and we have over 400 junior girls who participate in this. This is for high school junior girl teams to compete. And the Junior Girl Grant Program, and I'm going to talk about that as well. So we have a very robust committee that will oversee and do things. So we're just not slipping into the NCGA over here someplace. We will be a very active, vocal committee. Mr. Bones worked with us long enough to know that that's what we do. So that is what the committee will take care of. Upon dissolution of WGANC, in accordance with our bylaws, we have to donate all of our cash to a non-profit organization, a 501c3 foundation corporation. That is our bylaws on page 14 of the little green book. We talked to the attorney, we cannot give it back to you. We cannot do anything but donate. Please underline that word, donate. So we could have gone to First Tee, we could have gone wherever, but NCGA brought in Youth on Course. Remember this little corporation over here that's completely distinctly different than this NCGA over here? Youth on Course only deals with youth, and it is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. They have agreed that we can donate. Again, we are not giving our money away to NCGA. We are donating it per our bylaws to Youth on Course.